Chapter 66 Me Chen Yuan want votes. Li Zuer hummed in response, forcing a smile. Mom, I'm not someone who cares about first place. Zhang Qian knew full well whether her daughter meant that or not, but she said nothing. Li Zuer sat down on a resting chair. She knew she had already lost, at least in terms of skill. The loss was undisputed, with no room for argument. But in another way, she had won, because today she had heard the most beautiful piano music in the world, seen the most handsome pianist, and most precious of all, he was also 14 years old, the same age. Station Director Zhang Zhen slammed his fist on the desk. Great! This is fantastic! Chen Yuan, you're incredible! First Placius Felicity. Our station's rating swing. Perfect, absolutely perfect. This is real skill, pure skill. Zhang Zhen was so excited he didn't know what to do with his hands. No wonder Chen Yuan had refused underhanded tactics. With skills like this, resorting to tricks would be far too low. This is true talent. It's a sure thing 100 sure. Bullet comments flooded the live stream. So beautiful. I love it, Chen Yuan, I love you. Even the most wonderful music in the world can't compare to this. Damn it, trash. So what if he plays well? He's still a guy. Zuer, I support you. My vote is always yours. Can't you tell which is better? Have a conscience. While netizens argued fiercely, host Liu Ping stepped back onto the stage. Her expression was extremely complicated. To be Hone Street, Chen Yuan's piano performance had completely overturned her understanding of the instrument. She could even feel the emotions conveyed by the notes. She was shocked from the inside out, soul to body, toes to the top of her head. The shock left her body tingling, and her legs still felt unsteady as she walked. Finally, she stood opposite Chen Yuan, holding the microphone. Her voice a little hoarse, she said, Chen Yuan, you blew me away just now. Chen Yuan stood up from the piano bench. Playing a top-tier difficult piano piece required not only superb skill but also great physical strength. Clearly, he was exhausted. When he stood up, Liu Ping saw his face was covered in sweat. Her heart twinged at unexpected lie. He looked so endearing. She held the microphone and called out, Staff, hurry and bring a handkerchief. No, a towel. Soon a staff member brought over a brand new towel. Liu Ping took it and reached out, wanting to wipe Chen Yuan's sweat, then suddenly read she was the host. Chen Yuan took the towel, wiped the sweat from his face, and let out a long sigh of relief. After draping the towel over the piano stand, he rubbed his forearms. Liu Ping calm at her racing heart before speaking again. Chen Yuan, you're truly amazing. I never imagined you'd be this talented. Chen Yuan knew she was referring to his piano skills. He shrugged. It's okay, just a regular performance. Damn it, he's showing off again. If this was a regular performance, where would that leave all the masters in the world? Even Liu Ping, the experienced host, was left speechless for a moment. Her rather delicate face twitched. You're so humble. Chen Yuan thought he was being humble. If anyone else had played a piano piece of that caliber? Wouldn't they be acting all high and mighty? He nodded. Of course. Humility is a virtue, and I love promoting virtues. Liu Ping quickly changed the subject otherwise. This sharp-witted kid would definitely lead her astray. It's clear your piano performance let everyone feel its charm. Do you have confidence in the upcoming vote? Chen Yuan didn't hesitate for a second. Actually, rankings don't matter to me. What I care about is whether people heard the voice in my heart and felt my emotions. After speaking, Chen Yuan raised his hand and made a listening gesture. The venue immediately erupted. We heard it. I support you. You're so handsome. I heard it, all of it. Yuan still loves me. Liu Ping smiled and said, the on-site audience is so enthusiastic. Next, let's invite all contestants back on stage for the voting round. The staff pulled back the curtain, revealing a huge screen behind them, used to display the vote count. Wang Mantong walked onto the stage. When she saw Chen Yuan, she smiled and stood to his left. Li Zuer also walked up, her expression a little complex. She glanced at Chen Yuan's back, then unhesitatingly stood to his right. Chen Yuan felt something was off. There's so much space here. Why are you two squeezing next to me? Liu Ping had to step in front of them. Before voting starts, you'll each get a chance to canvass for votes. Let's start with Wang Mantong, who performed first. She held the microphone toward Wang Mantong. Wang Mantong glanced at Chen Yuan beside her, then spoke into the microphone. Hello everyone. I'm Wang Mantong. I'm just a kid from an ordinary family. My talent show just now might have had many flaws, but I'll definitely work harder in the future. Please remember me. I'll stay optimistic and cheerful, and work hard alongside everyone. Thank you. After speaking, she bowed deeply. The audience barely reacted. Liu Ping had to circle around to Li Zuer on the other side. Li Zuer, how do you think you did? Li Zuer pursed her lips and smiled sweetly. There arrest elimini. How will you canvass for votes? Li Zuer lifted her skirt slightly and took 2 steps forward. My name is Li Zuer. I'm a little girl who loves music and dance. My performance today still had many flaws, but I'll definitely work harder next time. Zuer loves you all. After speaking, she put her hands above her head and made a heart shape. This already beautiful girl instantly became even more adorable. The uncles in the live stream yelled excitedly, tapping furiously at their screens. The on-site audience also took a great liking to this little girl, and applause rang out endlessly. Liu Ping looked at Chen Yuan, sandwiched between the 2 girls. Chen Yuan, you. Before she could finish, Chen Yuan took a few steps forward. Me, Chen Yuan, want votes. Is that how he's canvassing? Station director Zhang Zhen was completely dumbfounded. Brother, you're my real brother. Canvassing for votes is such a crucial part. Can't you show a little sincerity? Even if you're too tired to talk much, you still need to say a few more words. Me, Chen Yuan, want votes. That's way too simple. Did your laziness act up? Chapter 67 Where's my 40-meter long broadsword? Our TV station Shrility show is counting on you to carry it. You can't play me like this." The on-site audience was stunned. Damn it. What's this kid thinking? Is he even trying to canvass for votes? He sounds so lazy. If it weren't for how hard he worked during his performance earlier, they would be definite lie. Thought he was just a slob. Li Zuer and Wang Mantong also stared at Chen Yuan with wide eyes. They both highlighted their strengths when asking for votes. So why was Chen Yuan's speech so simple? The host, seasoned as she was, felt utterly helpless when she heard Chen Yuan's canvassing line. She quickly grabbed the microphone and said, "Chen Yuan must be exhausted after all. His performance earlier took so much effort. Let's save our 3 contestants." A round of enthusiastic applause. The atmosphere in the venue ignited once again. Li Zuer hesitated for a moment, then leaned over and whispered, "Why didn't I put a fret?" Before Chen Yuan could answer, Wang Mantong on his other side chimed in. Guy, a cute term for brother, is definitely tired. He worked so hard just now." Li Zuer shot Wang Mantong a sharp glare, then turned her head and fell silent. Chen Yuan was left speechless. Host Liu Ping turned around. "Now, let's begin the voting session." Soon the backstage staff opened the online voting channel. Many netizens had been eager to vote. The moment the channel opened, they furiously tapped their screens, even if they only had one vote to cast. "Little Sister Zuer, my vote and my heart is all yours." Zhang San, the Odeon Sembro dish hand phone, mashed his phone screen. "Votes for Zuer, all my votes go to you." The vote count on the big screen behind the stage climbed rapidly. Li Zuer's votes rose the fastest, which made sense. She was beautiful, had a sweet voice, and already had the aura of a celebrity. It was only natural for people to vote for her. Chen Yuan came in second, his votes closely trailing Li Zuer, though he still had a chance to overtake her. Wang Mantong, unsurprisingly, was last. Her performance that day had been underwhelming, and she'd only gotten a few votes, thanks to her ordinary kid persona. Liu Ping addressed the audience. "There are voting buttons next to your seats. Button 1 is for Chen Yuan, contestant number 1. Button 2 for Wang Mantong, contestant number 2. And button 3 for Li Zuer, contestant number 3. Please vote according to your feelings." Each on-site vote was equivalent to 1,000 online votes. As the audience pressed their buttons, Chen Yuan's vote count skyrocketed. In just a few seconds, he easily overtook Li Zuer. Most on-site viewers were fair-minded, while Li Zuer's beauty and cuteness had earned her points. Chen Yuan's performance had been too shocking, like nothing they'd ever heard in their lives. So, most of them didn't hesitate to vote for Chen Yuan. His vote count continued to surge, pulling further ahead. Li Zuer, standing nearby, was extremely nervous. She glanced back at the screen from time to time. When her votes had been ahead of Chen Yuan's, she hadn't felt the slightest joy because she knew she'd already lost, so she couldn't help but steal glances at Chen Yuan. Yet Chen Yuan remained calm. never even glancing at the big screen behind him. It was as if the numbers on the screen didn't affect him at all. A flicker of curiosity stirred in Li Zuer's shirt. Is he really someone who doesn't care about fame or fortune? Or what kind of person is he exactly? A seed of curiosity took root in her mind. Wang Mantong only glanced at the screen once, then looked away, dejected. Whether I look or not, I'll be last today. I worked so hard, but this is the result. Finally, the final vote count was revealed. Chen Yuan took first place with 3,620,000 votes. Li Zuer came in second with 1,720,000 votes. As for third place, it wasn't even worth mentioning. When the audience saw the results, thunderous applause erupted. Chen Yuan's first place was well deserved. Zhang San flew into a rage. My lovely Zuer isn't first? Is there no justice in this world? No heaven's way? He grew more and more worked up, and in a fit of anger, he threw his phone at the wall. It hit the wall with a smack and fell to the ground. Zhang San snapped back to his senses. Damn it, my phone! Even though it was second-hand, he tied his savings to buy it. In his moment of anger, he'd actually thrown it. He hurried over, only to find the screen shattered into pieces. Zhang San squatted on the ground, holding the broken phone, and sobbed. Chen Yuan, it's all your fault. All your fault. You have to pay me for my phone. Amid the applause, the three contestants stepped off the stage. Station director Zhang Zhen was already waiting backstage. When he saw Chen Yuan, Li Zuer, and Wang Mantong come out, he hurried over to greet them. He looked at Wang Mantong, nodded, and grunted hum. He looked at Li Zuer, and a faint smile finally tugged at his lips. Not bad. But when he saw Chen Yuan, his face lit up like a flower. Wonderful! Absolutely wonderful, Chen Yuan. You've made me see you in a whole new light. Li Zuer and Wang Mantong felt a twinge of unfairness. This favoritism is way too obvious. If they hadn't been truly shocked by Chen Yuan's piano performance, they would definite lie. Suspected underhanded dealings. Cut the crap. Lao Zhang, if you have something to say, just say it, Chen Yuan said, the moment he called Zhang Zhen Lao Zhang, a casual, even slightly disrespectful nickname for someone older. The staff nearby shot Chen Yuan admiring looks. Zhang Zhen smiled awkwardly. Shall we talk in my office? Talk? What's there to talk about? Chen Yuan thought, I have more important things to do. Looking at the time, Tutor Song should have left by now. Dong Lai sat home alone. I'm worried about him, so I'm leaving, Chen Yuan said. Zhang Zhen waved, still smiling. All right, I'll give you a call later. Chen Yuan, Li Zuer, and Wang Mantong needed to take an internal passage to leave the studio. Their family members were already waiting outside. Li Zuer narrowed her eyes, looked at Chen Yuan beside her, and suddenly said, You're really good at the piano. Before Chen Yuan could respond, Wang Mantong piped up from his other side. Of course he is. Gai's piano playing is the most beautiful music I've ever heard. Nothing like that garbage. Her words were clearly provocative since Li Zuer or had also played the piano earlier. Li Zuer snorted and ignored Wang Mantong, her eyes fixed on Chen Yuan. Chen Yuan rubbed his nose. It's okay, I guess. Piano's all about talent. Anyway, nothing that impressive. Li Zuer's face curved into crescents. She was about to speak when Wang Mantong interrupted again. Guy, don't be so modest. Actually, I'm merely interested in the piano too. Can you teach me? Teach you? Chen Yuan thought. Whereas my 40-meter-long broadsword. A sarcastic, exaggerated thought expressing his reluctance and annoyance. Chapter 68. If Chen Donglai had never been born, the world of poetry would be plunged into eternal darkness. With Wang Mantong around, Chen Yuan and Li Zuer could barely talk smoothly, and the two girls had somehow developed an unspoken rivalry. When Wang Mantong finished speaking, Li Zuer let out a cold snort, raised her fair little hand, and waved it in front of her nose. Hey, such a strong smell off green tea, a slang term for a hypocritical, scheming woman. They traded barbs, the tension thick enough to cut with axe knife. It was a good thing there were no drones filming this, otherwise the live stream viewers would have been shocked out of their minds. When they reached the outside, Wang Mantong's mother and Li Zuer's mother were already waiting. Zhang Qian stepped forward, took her daughter's hand, and glanced at Chen Yuan beside her. Though she said nothing, her eyes were full of unspoken thoughts. Chen Yuan could only let out an awkward chuckle. Zhang Qian looked away. Zuer, it's getting late, let's take a taxi back. Li Zuer looked at her mother and shook her head. Helpless lie. We don't have enough money for a taxi, and the program team doesn't reimburse travel expenses. Money was tight. After all, she was just a young girl supporting a family on her own. Plus, she couldn't withdraw money from the live stream earnings. The little she'd made from busking was now here near enough to afford the luxury of a taxi. Zhang Qian sighed. She'd been so focused on her homework earlier that she'd forgotten zoo. Or didn't they've much money left? All right, then we'll take the subway. A subway ride only cost a few yuan. They could just about afford that. Li Zuer nodded. Just as she was about to leave, she thought of Chen Yuan behind her. She hesitated for a moment, then turned around, gave Chen Yuan a smile, and waved. It had to be said, the smile of an innocent young girl was truly charming. Chen Yuan looked at the mother and daughter, and out of politeness, pure politeness, no other feelings involved, he said, the subway gets really crowded, and it might not be safe for you two. How about I get you a taxi? Li Zuer smiled but said nothing. She knew Chen Yuan meant well. Zhang Qian, with her years of life experience, put on a warmer expression. She smiled and said, "Thank you for the offer, but we'll pass. Still, I have to say I heard your performance backstage, and it was wonderful." Courtesy demanded reciprocity, so Chen Yuan smiled and replied, "You two are as beautiful as sinking fish and falling geese, closing the moon and shaming flowers, a Chinese idiom describing extraordinary beauty." Zhang Qian's shirt bloomed with joy. What a sweet talking boy. He was good-looking and talented too. Such a young heartthrob. Chen Qian hummed in response and subconsciously touched at her cheek. Honest kids are really endearing. Her face broke into a wide smile after all. Who could resist a child who spoke the truth? Andy appreciates your kindness, but Zur and Ehavi our principals. Since we joined this show, we won T-cut corners. The subway will be fine with the drones following us. No one would dare to mess with us. Chen Yuan thought that made sense. Li Zur waved goodbye. Chen Yuan scratched his head and waved back goodbye. Li Zur walked a few steps, then turned her head and gave him a sweet smile before walking away with Shang Qian. As Chen Yuan watched their backs, he heard Wang Mantong speak up. Mom, we don't save money either I'll have to take the subway too. Chen Yuan turned to look at her. Wang Mantong waved. Little brother, Mom and I are taking the subway back. Chen Yuan nodded. Wish you a safi trip. With that, he turned and left the square at the entrance. Wang Mantong was stunned. Was Enda supposed to say something like, sinking fish and falling geese to us too? We're women too. The bad guys on the subway are really dangerous. Chen Yuan walked to the main road and hailed a taxi with a wave. Driver, take me to Xingfu Li. Happy neighborhood, the driver agreed. And once Chen Yuan got in, he immediately started the car. Chen Yuan didn't tidle in the taxi. He closed his eyes and checked his reputation points. Sure enough, his reputation had skyrocketed that night. Now it was up to 98,600 points. Enough for a 10-draw gacha. Chen Yuan felt a flicker of excitement. I wonder if I'll get anything good from a 10-draw. He suppressed his excitement and anticipation, deciding to wait until he got home to do the draw. The driver in front was extremely talkative. As soon as Chen Yuan finished checking his points, the driver struck up a conversation. It's late, isn't it dangerous for a teenager like you to be out alone? Where are your parents? Chen Yuan hummed, doing homework. The driver laughed. You're a funny kid. Little brother, am I funny? Chen Yuan's sense of humor seemed to unlock the driver's chatterbox. You won't believe it, I was listening to the CCTV Life Swap Challenge talent show earlier. That third boy who played the piano was incredible. I was so hooked, I almost rear-ended a Maserati. I listen to the radio every day, but I've never heard piano playing that good. It totally changed my view of the piano. Hey, I didn't mind admitting it, I've loved music since I was a kid. My dream back then was to become a top singer, like Pavarotti. But with my dad's unremitting efforts to cultivate me, I ended up getting into Langsheng driving school with excellent grades, known for technical skills like driving and machinery. Driving's a skill too, you know, especially for us taxi drivers. Chen Yuan felt a hadashi coming on. Brother, you're stepping on the gas pedal, not your tongue. Chattering non-stop. Am I here to listen to your stand-up comedy? When they arrived, Chen Yuan paid the fare. It's 77 yuans total. But you were fun to chat with. Little brother, I'll take 70. Fun to chat with? If I'd said more than 3 sentences, May my dad be swamped with endless homework. All right. It was fun. Keep the change. With that, Chen Yuan walked into the neighborhood. The driver held the money up and waved. But by the time he looked back, Chen Yuan had already entered the residential complex. He put the money away. Such a generous kid at a young age, he's going places. Chen Yuan pushed the door open gently. The living room light was on, but it was unusually quiet. Is Dong Lai still studying hard? A wave of relief washed over him. He is studying even without supervision. Good. Good, he's making me proud. Chen Yuan tiptoed to the study and pushed the door open softly. He immediately saw Chen Dong Lai standing by the window. Chen Dong Lai faced the window, staring longingly at the bright moon in the sky. He sped his hands behind his back and sighed thoughtfully. No bamboo makes one vulgar. No meat makes one thin. To be neither vulgar nor thin. Braised pork with bamboo shoots. Before my bed there is bright moonlight. I've written 2 lines of homework. I lift my head to look at the bright moon. Bow my head to write homework. Chen Yuan was stunned. What a genius! Dad, I might not bow to walls, but I have to bow to you. If Chen Donglai had never been born, the world of poetry would be plunged into eternal darkness.